Hi, how you doing? It's Jeff Sinker from SkypeGuitarLessonsOnline.com. This is part 2 of the series on the CAGED system. And in this lesson, we are going to be looking at the minor chords. In part 1, we looked at how we play the major chords, shifting positions around the fretboard. So what we're going to do, we're going to get straight in and we're going to look at how we play the minor chords. And first of all, let's understand how do we change this chord to a minor chord. Well, we've got this triad of a root note, major third, perfect fifth, back to the octave, and in this case E goes to the major third again. Now, to make this C minor, we have got to flatten the third. We've got to have a root, minor third, perfect fifth, root. If we do that, this means we've got to take this note here, which is on the D string, 2nd fret, which is this E. We've got to play an E flat. So we've got to really change our fingers to get that in, because it's quite hard to adjust our fingers. So we end up with our little finger playing the root. First finger plays that flat third, which is 1st fret on the D string. And then we can tuck our 2nd finger in to pick up the C. We can't play the E string because we can't flatten it because it's an open string there. So we can just play through these notes here. That gives us a C minor. That's fine. But if we've now got to move that, we have an even bigger problem because we've got such a stretch here to play that through. Now it can be done, I'm not saying you cannot play that, and I'm sure there's a few guitarists who say, oh yeah, I play that all the time. But it's not a very usable chord shape. So the C does have a moving chord shape that we can play, so we can play these. It gets better as we move up the fretboard because the stretches are a lot narrower, but it's not a very common one for us to use. But I did want to show you that and explain that it is there. We can use it. You know, I'm playing an F minor there. But the next one is the more common shape that we play. And pretty much when you first start using bar chords and you have to play a minor bar chord, this is one of the first bar chord shapes that you use. So we are thinking of the A minor. A minor open strings being utilised, root on the A string. If I move that shape forward and adjust the fingers, so the first finger is now 3 for the bar, B minor, C. That shape there is probably the most common shape that we approach playing our minor chords when we are playing across the A string. So we've got the root on the A string and we're using the A minor shape. Now let's look at the G. The G is another one of them chords where we run into this problem, similar that we had with the C chord. We have our G, and to make that a minor chord, we have to flatten this B. So we would have to play down here. We have to stretch our fingers down to get that. We've got our open strings, but we can't use the B open string. We can play the D, so we can add that, so that takes it the B flat. So we can play it like that. We can't play the high E unless you want to kind of hold both fingers down. You can juggle that shape around like that. That would give us a G minor. But I'm sure you can now see the problem when we start to move across to play this as a bar chord. We have got one heck of a stretchy shape to play through on that. So that starts to give us a little bit of a problem when we try and maneuver or play that shape to best effect. So the G shape is there, but it doesn't tend to get used. We can use the bottom end of it, where I can play an A minor, just working across the E string, the A and the D and the G. But I have a problem with the B and a problem with the high E. So the next in the sequence is one that we, again, probably is the most popular version. If somebody says play a minor chord as a bar chord, is the E minor shape. When we think of E minor, to play it as a bar chord, we move them 2 frets forward, or 1 fret forward, and we put the bar with our first finger, and that gives us the minor. And of course we just move up and down to play the different various minor chords. So that is the very, very popular one. The D shape. This one actually is a little bit easier to play than the D major shape, and it is overlooked quite a lot by guitarists. But we think of a D minor for that shape there, and the root is back on the open string. So if we move our fingers round by bringing them forward, just reassigning the fingers but still keeping that D minor shape, and put the first finger forward onto this D sharp, that's a little bit easier to play than the D one. So that is a usable method, or a usable chord shape that we can use. So we've now covered the minor shapes in the CAGED system, previously covered the majors. Next up on part 3, we'll be looking at the dominant. We're looking at the 7 chords. So until the next lesson, this is Jeff Sinker from SkypeGuitarLessonsOnline.com, wishing you well. Thanks for your company as usual. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.